Hey, how you doing, Trader Joe's? This is my mini Benchmade Bone Collector. The probably the only issue I have with it is the pocket clip. It's either tip up, left or right side carry. And I carry it with the clip on this side. The issue I have is that when the clip is on, the end of the clip is pressing like right into the top of one of these grooves that are in the side of the handle. These are like rib cages, supposed to be like ribs. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill up one or two of these little grooves. I'm gonna use this product. It's called J-B Weld. Obviously, you can read, and it's two-part. You mix the two together, and this one's white and this one's black. You put them together, it turns gray, right? And so I had a little bit. I didn't have enough to, because I only have a very small amount of it. So I went today and bought this new set, and this is what I had done yesterday. The clip's going to be over that. It's going to be barely, once it's on, I'm going to sand it down a little bit. I even bought like a little sanding sponge, and I'll sand it down and make it look nice. I'll put the clip on, and you probably won't even know it's there. You can see the color is very, very similar. And then anybody that has any kids will know, will probably recognize the baby food containers. This one's from Gerber Baby Food. It's nice little containers. I reuse them. Sometimes I put screws and parts and stuff like that in them. But in this case, I'm going to use the lid as a little makeshift tray. Because I'm going to put one part of this and another part of that, and then stir it up. And then I even bought some hobby brushes to try to apply it nicer. Actually, let me get it ready. They were very cheap in Home Depot. It's over here. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'll make my way around this rat's nest of wires that I have for these different lights that I have to illuminate the video. And J-B Weld is a really good product. I don't know if this is going to come up or not, but let's see. You can use it for it's a steel reinforced epoxy. You can use it for metal, wood, plastics, PVC, ceramics, fiberglass, concrete, and more. And really good. You can even drill it, machine it, grind it. Supposedly, like let's say you filled up a hole with something, and if you put that in there and let it set, you could actually tap it out and make a threaded hole. So let's just see. Now I don't need that much, so I'm going to just put more or less equal amounts. Clean this up. It's a little messy. Just get some pieces of stick or something like that. Mix it up. And you got a little time with this one. The other one that I used for the other parts of that was called J-B Quick. It's made by the same company, and it sets up like in 5 minutes. This one takes hours, so oops, get that stick piece of wood out of there. A lot of times what I do is when I'm making something like this, I think of what else I might need to epoxy up with any of the leftovers. Am I the only one that does that? Probably not. Alright. Put that over there. I get my brush. I'm going to just put enough in so that it's actually sticking up above the top of the groove, so that I can sand it down flat, flush with the top. This way, like the lip of your pocket doesn't get caught on the little ridges. That's really all I need here. That should be it. I'll wait several hours and see how it looks. Meantime, I got a little bit of spillage I got onto the back here. Just clean that off while it's still wet. Alright, and that'll be that. And then I'll let this sit for a day, probably until tomorrow, and then see how it looks. Okay, so this is the product. It's J-B Weld. It's a 2-part epoxy. Okay, so I'll pick this up at some point tomorrow or so. Have a good day. Hey, how you doing? Trader Joe's. 24 hours has elapsed. I didn't need to wait that long, but you see how this looks nice and it looks like it's wet, but it's dry. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off that, because you see it's raised up above the top of those little grooves. Let's see, and try out the new sponge. Open when I do it or not. But if I do leave it open, I want to wrap my hand with something. Wrap the blade with something. Okay. I guess I should have been doing this before I put the video on. Some 400 grit sandpaper here. Let me just tear off a little strip. See if this is any different. almost there. Paper towel. That may be all I need. Let me see. Oops. This is just to show how it looks. Again, this is going to be under the clip, but I can keep coming down. And this will also darken up with use anyway. So if it does seem a little lighter or more obvious, it won't always be like that. It's pretty flush. So that should be a nice smooth area, maybe a little bit more. And if I can get it all the way down to that top of that original rib, it would look like even like a line. It's a lot better. Alright, so I'll put this all together. I'll be back. Okay, I got the clip on. You can see the area, obviously. I thought the clip would cover more of it, but it's not bad. And I slipped it in and out of the pocket a few times. It looks like some of this area here is also catching on the pocket, so I don't know. I guess it could be a work in progress, but it does slide in and out a lot easier. And you know, this will darken up with age. But I'm happy with it. J-B Weld. You know, plus, you know, I rinsed this all off and everything, so I don't know if it's making this look a little, the contrast isn't that much different, but. Alright. Then it's smooth. It's like a Haman, it's just actually by the dampness from because I just washed it in the water. It just comes right off. I love this knife, it's nice. I had gotten, there was a guy on the Jersey Devil message board, he sold this one for $50. So this is like the full-size Griptilian, as opposed to like the mini Griptilian that I had. It's quite a lot different, but it's kind of beefy, you know. So I'm gonna probably sell this one. But it's nice though. It's hollow ground. You can see how the light changes during that. This the smaller one here, even though it's partially serrated, it's flat ground. See that reflection? See, it's pretty even, that reflection. If you look at the same reflection on this, you see how it fans. It's hard to explain, but it's definitely a hollow ground. Let's compare the blade thickness. This is the Bone Collector, and this is the Griptilian. Let's look at the tips. Very similar. I think the hole, I don't know if the hole is any bigger on the Griptilian than this one, but this is a lot more comfortable in the hand. You know, even with these grooves, it doesn't hurt your hand if you grip it really hard. This one, if you grip it really hard, it's got some jimping down here. That kind of irritates me a little bit. It's a nice big user. Alright. Trader Joe's, have a good day.